but when we had our first hits in 81, 82, Regresa a mí and Tú Solo Tú, we decided, you know what?
Right.
You know, and it was norteño. And so we did an album called Herencia Norteña.
Which is a great album, by the way.
And a lot of people don't know this, but the drummer on that album, he passed away a few years ago. He was a good friend of ours, Juan H. Barron. And Juan H. Barron played with Ramon Ayala, with Los Relámpagos, with Los Cachorros, drums on that album. And it has an authentic norteño sound. And this was like way before
anybody was doing something
this
like
trend
that.
of norteño. And then again, when we were fortunate enough to come across Los Palominos in 1990. Once again, being an accordionist, I wanted to help, and that's why I helped the guys. Because they were all little boys, you know, playing this great music.
They're good. Los Palominos have always been a great band.
Great band,
and, you know, and they continue being that to this day. And like I say, you guys are doing a brand new album for them, and that's coming out there. Probably, you know, it'll take a while before it come out, but it's coming out, and it's coming out good. I know it's going to come out. I've been to your studio. You got a great studio out there.
Well, thank you. We've had some real cool clients come through. We don't advertise as a commercial studio, but we've had you know, Jose Feliciano, Mark Anthony, Duran was there recently.
Wow.
Which out of the blue was very weird, you know. But we've had a lot of cool. Al Jarreau has done stuff at our studio. So we built the studio with just being able, with wanting to record music for a long time, quality music, because now that things are hard again, things are tough. It's really coming in. It was a good decision we made back in. We built it in '93.
I remember that.
There's no labels. I mean, there's no record labels out there that are supporting it. Having our own studio, we're able to still dedicate time and effort and make it. You go into our studio and you're recording, and you know, our mindset is we're still selling gazillions of records. Everybody is, you know, and you got to keep that mentality.
You got to. It's like now I think that there's more. There's more room for you guys to do what you really want to do instead of doing what they want you to do. A lot of the labels back in the '90s, they would dictate to the groups, okay, I need this and I want this. And
they didn't want to, they did.
Yeah, you know, it just, you know, now it's like, you know, now there's more. They're more flexible. You guys, especially if you got your own label, or if you got, you know, a lot of groups are starting to get their own label. The only thing is that some of the groups are wanting to write all the songs, and then that's what.
Yeah, that's something that, and me personally, I know writing is not my forte. You know, I'm a producer, I'm a keyboardist, accordionist. Oscar also. We've tried writing, and you know what? Everybody has their talents, and you're right. A lot of artists, and it happens a lot in the Tejano market. You know that. They'll write songs and do a whole album, and you know.
You know, their mindset is that, you know, I'm going to get all the royalties for the songs, and you know, not say, well, if you're going to sell a certain amount, if you let somebody else say you're going to sell a lot more, you're going to get more royalties.
The final product for the fan is the most important thing.
Definitely.
That's the way we look at it.
But then you guys, like I say, you guys already you guys are still young, have become legends in La Onda Tejana, and you continue to do what you love to do. And I commend you for that.
We did it in the beginning because we love music, and we still love music, and we're still fans of music. We go. Oscar and I went out last week to see Ana Gabriel in the East. Vicente Castro when he was in town. You know, Palominos when they're in town. Elida.
We had Elida at the club, and then Oscar got up to sing.
And you got to. You got
it. And I've seen David De La Garza out and about, and Ruben Ramos will play, and he'll get up and play with Ruben.
Yeah, David. You know, all our guys. I bet we've been very fortunate to have some great musicians with La Mafia throughout the years. I did something on this album that I've never done, but this was appropriate. I named and credited all the musicians.
You guys also have your website that the people come in and check out on it.
Yeah. We have lamafia.com. We've had since 1995.
Wow.
Before internet was in.
Right? You guys are always doing stuff before it even began.
You know what? I always read the whatever is happening in the trades, the magazines, and if I see something coming, like when the internet thing was catching on in the early '90s. I locked in the La Mafia name, even though we didn't do anything with it for a few more years later. But You know how hard it is now to get a name on the internet, any name. So yeah, we have LaMafia.com, and you know, we MySpace, we were on that right from the start, and yeah, you got to keep up with technology and everything that's coming.
And of course, like I said, I've been to your studios, and that is all high tech. It'll get more high tech than that. Those are some great studios you guys have.
It's a world-class studio. It really is. It's one of the. I have to say, it's one of the top, in the top 5 studios in Houston.
That's all. And of course, I know that once this comes out, are you guys planning on maybe going back out and doing a tour? Kind of. I know that this is a live from back in the '80s, but just kind of go out there and.
We're gonna add a lot of these songs to our set. Actually, we learned a lot of that kind of stuff for the Alamo Dome show that we did last year, the anniversary of La Mafia. We played like 52 songs that night.
Wow. One right after another. Huh?
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna add a lot of these songs into our set. For sure, the ones on this album, on the Live in the '80s.
That's all. And of course, you know that other album that you guys did, Live at the Coliseum. That was a big. Not too many live albums would sell back in the days.
No.
Especially for Tejano, in the Tejano market.
Well, Mi Loca Pasión, from that album, La Mafia Live, which came out in 1987, that's one of the first songs that took off in Mexico. In Monterrey, Mi Loca Pasión Live from that concert was one of our first hits on the radio in Monterrey.
Wow. I know that I've seen internet radio stations come up in Monterrey and San Luis Potosí, and they got, they're playing nothing but Tejano.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I think there's one called Gabanelli Mex or something like that. Yeah.
And,
there's a lot of stuff.
Tejanisi was extreme, and there's a lot of different. And I've listened to them, and I mean, these guys really love their Tejano music.
Oh yeah.
And that's awesome, because that just goes to show that. That somebody went in there and that they're hungry for something different. Sometimes you think, well, no, that's a different country. I don't want to go, but you introduce them to something, and it might catch on. And if it catches on, it's going it's just going to help everybody. It's not just going to help one band. It's going to help the Tejano market in general.
Well, Tejano is. I mean, a lot of people say, what happened to Tejano? Tejano is dead. But when you put it on comparison with everything else out there, everything is down.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is down. Go to any concerts of any style of music, and it's all down. Radio's down in any genre. So, except the whoever's at the bottom of the totem pole will be the first ones to get shoved off. And that's what happened. It happened in Houston.
Definitely.
The Tejano got shoved off of radio. In the Valley, I think they just had a little incident happen where they cut off the Tejano station, and then somebody popped up and put up a new one because there was a void, and now those people that shut it off are opening a new Tejano station.
Wait a minute. There's a market.
We didn't mean it.
But that's awesome, because when you have something like that, especially like back in the days of La Mafia, and when you have somebody like Maz and La Mafia that are huge bands in the market, and they're out there, and there's kind of like that, they kind of put them up against each other,
yep.
And they're out there. It just helps the market grow, and it makes the shows bigger.
Competition is great.
Definitely.
Competition is good, and we need more of that. What we need right now is young, new artists. We need artists out there. We're looking.
I know that a lot of times I'll interview some people, and I ask them, to give advice to the young artists. And of course, the most common thing that everybody says that you got to quit trying to copy other people and create your own style. And a lot of bands tend to come out and they think they're doing something because it's a different song, but they're using the same style as somebody else. And as long as you're using somebody else's style, you're never gonna be recognized as a premier band.
It's and I understand it's hard. I know how hard it is to create a new style. I mean, it took us a long time to develop and redevelop, different styles, but you have to. Me personally, I learned it through my dad. When I started playing the accordion, my dad, he wouldn't let me sit down with a record and copy somebody. It's like, no, I just learned by ear of how I heard the song, and that kind of stayed with me, and that's the way I learned music. And so when we started creating, I just went by what I felt.
And that's what makes a difference. That's what sets you apart from the other bands. And that I think that as young artists that are coming out, like you say, it's hard, but you got to be
original.
You got to be creative, and you got to take a chance. Sometimes they're afraid to take chances. You know, they say, well, I don't want to take a chance. What are they not gonna like? Well, put it out there and let the people decide.
Let the people decide.
And you know, and I think that's one thing that I would tell young bands that are coming out. You know, take that chance and create your own style. And you know, like you say, the Mafia, of course, the Mazas of the industry, you know, monster groups, because they had that. They had a whole different sound than anybody else.
Yeah, Maz had a very unique sound. You know, the synthesizer, Jimmy's arrangements were incredible. Jimmy's an incredible arranger.
Definitely. What do we have next there, Mike?
We have Nada Más.
Oh,
that's from the, I think, Mafia Mania album originally.
Let's check it out. Let's check that one out. It's coming out September 6th, La Mafia live in the 80s.
Live in the 80s.
Yes,
we went back and forth on the title, and we didn't want to deceive anybody. We wanted to make it real clear what it is, you know, so it can't get clearer than that.
It can't get more clear than that, I'll tell you that. And of course, a lot of times, you know, I do the Oli show every Sunday, you know, and I always say I attempt to take him back in time, but that 80s sound and the 80s music, it just, for some reason, it just it still has a market for that. You know, there's still a big market for that style of, because there was a lot of great bands that and it was a different sound. Of course, you guys came in and of course you started in the 80s, but then you continued through the 90s, and you know, you just kind of went with it. You kept up with what the sound was happening.
It evolved, but we still know how to do Tejano.
Yes, all.
You know, that's one thing I pride myself. I can get in the studio and I can produce a good Tejano record right now as well as anybody. And I'm not bragging, I just know I have my guys, the band, the guys are great musicians.
There's some awesome musicians,
and
I've seen them.
We don't do a lot of Tejano, of new music, but I do get disappointed with some of the music out there. And I'm saying it in this sense. I wish there was more effort in the arrangements, in the, because I come from the conjunto world. You know, as a kid, when I was 15 years old, you know, I'd drop into some of these little bars, and we know how to, you know, get up on stage and just play a song. You say, I want to sing this song. Okay, and what key? Okay, and vámonos, and it's like an instant arrangement. I kind of hear that in a lot of artists now. It's like, dude, where's the effort? Give me a little variety in what you're doing, because the fans deserve it. The fans need more. It's not just get a song and give me the chords and vámonos, you know. And I pride myself, and if you listen to any of the Mafia's Tejano arrangements, we put a lot of effort.
Oh, definitely.
And we don't want them to sound like each other, you know. And that's my point of view.
You know, and that's a great point of view. And a lot of times, reflects back into what I was talking about earlier, is about these guys wanting to write their own songs, and so it's like there's no thought into it. It's just, you know, it's kind of like a bubblegum type of song that it's like quise, la quise, me quiere, or whatever, and that's all it says. You know?
Well, the thing about writing is this, that if you're, because my vocabulary in Spanish is limited, I'll be honest, you know,
right.
That's why I know I can't write a real good song. So, but people that write songs that don't have a big vocabulary in that language, they really don't know that their song isn't good. You know, because they don't know the other words. So, you know, it's hard to judge your own music. It really is.
And especially if you want to cross markets, they're real critical about the way they use their certain word that is not a proper word to use, and they're critical about that. And I've seen it, and I've seen it being criticized before. A lot of the Mexicanos say, why is he saying that for us? You know, that's not the way you say that.
Well, the reason is because a lot of people don't know this, but when you listen to Tejano radio, there's a lot more influence of Mexican writers than you know, than you acknowledge. And you're listening to songs that popular artists now still record from some of the best writers in the world, and they happen to be from Mexico. So when you hear a song that's poetry, that you're talking a Rembrandt of a song written by someone 30, 40 years ago. And then you hear the song that, you know, somebody wrote because he wanted to write it, side by side.
There's no
well,
comparison.
something sounds inferior.
Definitely.
And that's what you're competing with, you know, some of the best writers in the world.
I remember, you know, of course, remember El Chavarria, Grupo Mayo back in the day. He would do a lot of Nelson Ned stuff.
Nelson Ned, yeah, Camilo,
yeah. He was some great,
King Clave.
Yeah, you know, and those were big international hits that he did to house style.
And they were written by some of the best writers. You know, when La Mafia started hitting, that was one of the things that we did, is we went after some of those top writers. What I mean by going after, making contact, you know, Jorge Luis Piloto, that wrote Brindemos por ella for Jose Jose and Roberto Carlos. You know, he wrote Estás Tocando Fuego for La Mafia.
Yes,
you know, we contacted some of those writers because, once again, we want to give the fans more and more and more, you know, and it is hard because what you're doing is you're elevating your own level of competition. So it's harder to do a record to compete with the last one, you know, but we got to set those standards.
But you're right about that, is that back, a lot of the songs that are being re-recorded and re-recorded originated from big writers. I mean, mega writers, you know, mega superstars that were international songs that.
Jose Alfredo Jimenez, I think, has had probably more songs than anyone recorded by Tejano artists. You know, people don't know that. Juan Gabriel.
Oh, definitely.
You know, Juan Gabriel.
You know, Magic Pietro, he used to love to do that, Juan Gabriel, and, you know, and it worked for him. And but the people don't realize that. You know, I played a song of Josefa back in the No Te Beso Más, and somebody said, "Hey, I thought that Aviso wrote that song." I said, "No, they just don't know." You know, it's just that, you know, they don't know, and but that goes back to reflect on what you're saying, is that you gotta have you gotta want to go after it. You gotta want it, and you gotta go after it. It's not gonna come to you. You gotta make it happen.
You gotta make it happen.
What we got next? What we got there?
We've got Comprende, and that was from the Living Color album originally.
Yes, so let's check that one out. Oh yeah, Peter Radio, that come out, lo que dice Comprende, off the brand new CD. It's coming out the 6th.
September 6th at Walmart and iTunes.
iTunes, yes, though. But you know, this is a great CD, and I congratulate you guys on putting this out. I know that this is stuff that you guys did back in the '80s, but like you said, you had to put the new sound to it, so it kind of fared up to what's going on nowadays.
Yeah, the remaster. It's called remastering. Yeah, you just bring the quality, try to bring it as close to what's current, quality-wise.
Yes, no, you did a great job. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
It's an awesome. I'm going to run a couple of commercials because you got to pay some bills.
Got to pay the bills.
Come back and talk to you in a second.
Owners and homeowners and renters that are responsible for their electric bill. If you signed up on a fixed Texas electricity price last summer, you probably signed up at the highest electric service price in the history of Texas. Natural gas prices.
But it's a great CD, and I commend you guys for that. And of course, you know, I talked to you on Facebook the other day, and you know, we decided to come in and do this today. And I want to thank you for allowing me to be the first one to preview.
Well, it didn't happen until you put it on Facebook. That's when.
Right? We're talking. Tell me that story right now.
No. Yeah, it's crazy. But you know what? The Facebook thing is great. You get to reconnect with a lot of old friends, and
definitely,
it's cool.
You know, and for a while I didn't want to get into it because, you know, I said no, because, you know, you see stuff on TV and you say, I don't want to get into that, but actually, you know, it is a good thing. You get to reunite, like you said, with people that you probably haven't seen in 30 years, you know, or more. But in that sense, it's a great
But
thing.
sometimes it's people you don't want to see in another 30 years.
No, but it's like I get a kick out of some of the people. They come up there and they want to post what they ate. And okay, well,
we all do that.
I'm here. I just walked in here and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. Okay,
yeah, I have a headache, you know.
No, but once again, you know, I know the next song is a song that has never been released before.
Yeah, this is Tanto Amor. It's a cumbia we did in the late '80s. It was turned down by the label for whatever reason, because the labels think their own way.
They think they know what to do. Either.
But you'll start hearing the sound that was evolved into what became the traditional La Mafia Cumbia sound, but this was before Alas de Papel, before No Lo Haré, but you start hearing that sound developing.
That's the beginning.
But you know what? It still sounds, honestly, it sounds like a song that could have just been recorded today. I'm proud to say that I think a lot of our music has.
It's still, you know, there's music out there. Not all of it is like that, but there's music out there that you can play and it's
still
fresh.
Yeah.
It keeps up with the time because it was ahead of its time. You know.
Yeah.
And
sometimes that's not a good thing, but
sometimes not a good thing, but
it's because they hit after we're gone, you know.
Hey, wait a minute, let's check this
Mozart,
out.
okay.
¿Cómo se llama esta?
Tanto amor.
We know each other for a long time, and you know, when I contacted you and you allowed me to do that, to be the first one to preview it, you know, it's quite an honor for me to have that, especially from a group.
Well, I mean, you wish you could do more of this. You know, you happen to be right down the street from us.
Yes,
you know, so it's very convenient, and we probably would do a lot more of it if it was as convenient. But it's hard, you know.
Sometimes you can't just take off and head down to the valley or head to.
Like today, you know, I'm going back to work right now. As soon as I leave here, you know, that probably be 3-4 in the morning with Palominos tonight.
Yes, though.
But
so you guys been there all weekend though.
Yeah, we started Friday, and we've gone late every night, trying to get another album in the can.
Yes, though. But you know, like I said, I wanna, you know, I know that you got to get back. So what do we got next? We got a couple more songs, and then I'm gonna let you get back to those Palominos.
See, Polkas Mafiosas is a little medley of polkas that also the label didn't want to release because they wanted a song. They didn't want
no
instrumental.
Yes,
you know, but hey, look at what you're playing right now.
I know that's right. Let's check it out.
The parties on the weekend.
Yes, though. And then of course you got a bonus track. Of course, it is "Oh Girl" that you had already put out on iTunes here.
We that song. They're always asking for it everywhere we go, and we decided to do a new version of it. It's just like the original, but with today's technology.
Today's sound.
This is today's Mafia, the guys.
The band that you have now.
Yeah.
You know, right now, like I was telling you already, we got people from all over the country listening. Of course, from other countries. También, you know, the soldiers that are out there wherever they're at. Si le quieres mandar un saludo para toda la gente que nos está escuchando.
Yeah, I want to say hi to all our servicemen that are out there. We're very proud of you. When we did our USO tours, I have to say, me personally, and all the guys will tell you this, it was a life-changing experience for us. It humbled us, you know, and you're there, and you realize, you know what, these are the real guys, you know, and they are all excited that you're there. You know, we were in, like I said, in Germany, we're near Amsterdam, in the Balkans, Sarajevo. We were in Sarajevo, and some lived there with their families, and we were like a little piece of Texas coming, you know, to visit. A lot of people from Texas over there, and you really appreciate what they do and what you know what they're doing over there. It's tough. It's really tough.
Well, definitely.
We're proud of them.
If it wasn't for what they do, we couldn't be doing what we're doing.
We couldn't be doing what we're doing.
You know, and I always say that because, you know, they are, you know, sometimes you think, well, they're not, you know, but they're protecting the country, and that's what they're out there to do. And some of them go through some heavy things that nobody would want to experience.
And let's not forget this: they're all volunteers. They're all there because they want to be there. You know, so that's what makes it very, very special.
Definitely. We saludo para all the, you know, all the people in the armed forces that are out there, and of course all the people that are listening to us, you know, around the country. Of course, people from the Midwest, from California, from Florida, from all of the different states. Del Valle de Texas, you know, we got a lot of people from all over the place. And once again, I want to thank you for
bringing them over here. Also to this interview, but I said, nah, y'all stay here to work. You guys
work. You guys
get a little song ready while I'm over there.
But Mando, once again, I want to thank you, Carnal, and I know that you got to get back to work. But
well, thank you, and what y'all doing here at BNet is great, and keep it up. And I wish y'all the best of luck.
Thank you, and I'm really looking forward to that. I know that we got some CDs that we're
yes,
going to be giving away. It's going to win it before you.
Whenever we can buy it.
Yes, dog. You can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
You can't beat that, Armando. Gracias,
thank you.
Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna do "Old Girl," and then I'm gonna let you go ahead and go.
Hola, Miss.